Raphael Levy for TCGplayer.com, presenting mono white control supplied with a little bit of a black. So this is a deck I've been toying with for a couple of days, and it's been doing pretty well. So let's explain a little bit what it does. It's a white deck, as you can see, that's using cards like Scrounger, Thraben Spectre, Selfless Spirit to enable, and Walking Ballista to enable Archangel Avacyn to wipe the board. Also, we have Start Finish that provides creatures and removal spell. By using the Aftermath ability of the card, you also trigger Avacyn. So the main focus of the deck is to totally nullify your opponent's threats with the help of Gideon's Intervention and Gideon of the Trials. The reason we don't have Gideon, Ally of Zendikar in the main is because the 4 mana slot is pretty full as it is. You can't play too many cards that cost 4, and Gideon's Intervention is what we have right now. So the plan is to play early creatures to block the board and provide some defense. Then play Gideon if you have it, obviously, to stall the board a little more. Just tick it up and take care of the biggest threat on the board. Then you play Gideon's Intervention to totally nullify the biggest threat, or take care of the biggest threat of your opponent's deck, which could be Torrential Gearhulk or Etherworks Marvel. And then you set up for a longer game plan with Avacyn with the help of Selfless Spirit and Walking Ballista. The idea of the deck, one of the ideas is to have, we don't have card drawing engines, so you need ways to reach your 5th and 6th land. So that's why we play Cast Out as a removal spell. I used to have 4, but I like to play 1 Quarantine Field, which is another late game card. For 4 mana, it's about the same thing as Cast Out. It's not flash, but still it allows you to deal with pretty much anything. And in the later game, you have something that deals with pretty much everything. So Avacyn with Walking Ballista, Selfless Spirit, and Start Finish. It's pretty easy to trigger. Scrappy Scrounger, 3/2 for 2. You need a creature to pressure your opponent's planeswalkers, because if you take them out, your early creatures will never be able to deal with a Gideon or anything. Whereas here you can maybe like try to deal with your opponent's creatures and attack, or yeah, deal damage early and not wait for your late game to actually deal some damage and win the game. The mana base, pretty straightforward. Plains, 8 dual lands, black-white dual lands to be able to bring back the Scrounger. The Shambling Vents are also very important to gain life in the mid-game or late game. So overall, we're pretty happy to play black anyway, to enable the Scrounger, and also to use the Aftermath ability on the Start Finish. It opens up for pretty good sideboard cards for Transgress the Mind, Labia the Heart, and Dispossess. Gideon's Intervention is a card I didn't really like at first because it's a soft target for Nahiri, but now that Nahiri is not really played anymore, this is a great way to deal with the format, especially since now we know which deck plays which threat. Against Marvel, it's really good to call Marvel, and the first one would call Marvel, the second one Ulamog, and probably the other one would call Harness Lightning to save your Avacyn if you ever get to play 2 or 3 of them. Against the blue-red, you call Gearhulk, Torrential Gearhulk, and that's very hard for them to come back from it. Against an aggro deck, you can play Gideon's Intervention. You deal with the Like if they have two of the same creatures, you deal with two of them at the same time, or if they have something that you're scared of, like Liliana's Mastery, for example, you can call Liliana's Mastery and they don't play it. So sideboard, discard spells that go really well with Gideon's Intervention. You have perfect information as soon as you play Transgress. Play Transgress, you take out something, and you can play Gideon's Intervention on whatever they have left and that you don't want them to play. Dispossess, about the same thing as Gideon's Intervention. Take care of a Gear Hulk and the Etherworks Marvel, and like, set up your late game plan. Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, in the sideboard only, for the reasons I mentioned above about Gideon's Intervention. You can't have too many 4-drop cards. But sometimes you actually want to have the 7 Gideons in the deck, for example, against any kind of control, especially blue-red. They have to deal with each Gideon individually, like right away. So if they have to counter and kill all of them, you have 7. The more you have, the better. And sometimes having just 2 of them is good. 2 or 3 of them is good win condition. And sometimes the little Gideon doesn't do anything, so you take it out. And we have removal that exile in the sideboard, like a Declaration Stone, Descend upon the Sinful, for zombies mostly. And that's about it. And we're gonna play a league, and we'll see how it goes.